Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Let's just dive right in today because we are unpacking one of the absolute most fascinating and honestly most misunderstood systems in all of astrology. We're looking at the intricate system of the planet Mercury, which we're calling the cosmic engine. And by the end of our time together, you're going to see exactly why this small but mighty planet is considered the essential bridge between our internal thoughts and the external world.
I mean, why do we always blame Mercury? It's basically a cultural phenomenon at this point, right? If your flight gets delayed, if your phone just suddenly bricks itself, or an email accidentally goes to your boss instead of your friend, it's almost a reflex to just point at the sky and blame Mercury. But why this specific planet? Well, as we'll uncover in this explainer, Mercury's true underlying meaning goes way beyond annoying tech glitches. It actually governs the literal mechanics of how we navigate a really complex, information-driven world. So, to decode this complex framework logically and methodically, here's our roadmap. Part 1, the cosmic messenger. Part 2, mechanics of the mind. Part 3, the art of translation. Part 4, rethinking Mercury retrograde. And Part 5, the ultimate trickster. Starting with Section 1, the cosmic messenger, the intermediary. To really grasp Mercury's significance, we have to look at its foundational role in our solar system and, its deep historical mythology. See, historically, Mercury wasn't just a rock floating in space. It was personified as the ultimate intermediary, a psychopomp. And a psychopomp is essentially a figure capable of traveling between the underworld, the human realm, and the heavens, purely to deliver messages. This establishes Mercury's core identity perfectly. It is the celestial go-between. It doesn't just sit in one state of being, it actively traverses them, acting as that absolutely critical link between the spiritual and the physical. So how does this mythology actually translate to physical reality? Well, astronomically, Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun. Because of this, from our perspective right here on Earth, Mercury can never, ever be more than 28 degrees away from the Sun. It literally cannot stray far from the center. And astrologically, this physical boundary is incredibly profound. It means Mercury acts as the literal mouthpiece for the Sun's central vision. It takes the divine intellect of the Sun and just conveys it outward to the rest of the solar system. Building on that, Mercury operates through 4 core domains. Let's just do a rapid-fire look. First, speed. After the Moon, it is the fastest-moving planet, so it governs everything from local travel to having a totally hair-trigger mind. Next up, versatility. It's basically an adaptable wildcard, taking on the qualities of whatever it interacts with. Then, communication. We're talking all forms of expression here, speech, writing, and yes, the technical systems that actually deliver those messages. And finally, intellectual focus, zooming right in on the data.
Which brings us to Section 2, mechanics of the mind, zooming in. So we've seen its overarching role. Now let's zoom in on how Mercury operates as this active, working machine for our intellect. Think of it this way. The expansive planets are kind of like a telescope. They give you the broad, big picture focus. But Mercury is absolutely the magnifying glass. Because it's the smallest of the traditional planets, its intellectual style is entirely focused on the minute and the particular. It is methodical, it is incredibly systematic, it honestly doesn't care about the broad strokes. It wants to see the mechanical details of exactly how things work.
I absolutely love this slightly humorous phrase from our source material to describe Mercury's energy. Thinky juice. I mean, how great is that? It's the mental energy required to document, communicate, and metabolize information. Mercury acts as this little machine that helps thought forms leave your mind and actually enter the real world. You literally need that thinky juice to power the bridge between your internal concepts and reality.
On to Section 3, the art of translation, bridging the gap.
Okay, so if Mercury generates our thinky juice, how is that actually applied? Well, it acts as the principle of logos, the fundamental logic, structure, and reasoning behind human thought. Its core function is the successful transmission of an impulse from point A to point B. In a birth chart, Mercury governs your personal communication style, exactly how you give and receive information. But it also governs physical translation, like manual dexterity, the literal physical movement of your fingers. It's all about your ability to take multiple, completely disparate threads of information and weave them into a cohesive pattern. It bridges the gap.
Now, in our day-to-day lives, Mercury oversees several really key earthly spheres. For one, it governs commerce, trade, and the marketplace, so the giving and taking of money. It also rules education, making it the primary indicator for scholars and teachers. In human relationships, it represents siblings as well as the town crier who announces the news. But here is perhaps the most fascinating detail of all. Astrology itself is a mercurial profession.
Think about it. An astrologer is literally acting as a translator, interpreting the speech of the stars into human language.
Now for Section 4. Rethinking Mercury Retrograde, the glitch.
All right, it is time to address the elephant in the room and seriously reevaluate this famously feared phase. Because Mercury moves so incredibly quickly, from our specific vantage point on Earth, it appears to move backward in the sky 3 times every single year. And this cycle, of course, brings about perceived instability. Our sources describe it so beautifully, though. During this time, it can feel as though the mind is just moonwalking across the sky, backtracking through previous thoughts and plans. It really does feel like a total loss of consistency. But, let's reframe this whole chaotic reputation. Mercury retrograde is actually a highly positive, necessary detour. Step 1, reworking. Step 2, returning. Step 3, remembering. It is a built-in cosmic reminder to just slow down. It basically forces a revision of our current path, making us double-check the details to ensure our internal thoughts are truly, authentically aligned with our external expressions. And often this detour leads to completely unexpected insights that we definitely would have missed if we were just speeding ahead as usual.
And finally, Section 5, the ultimate trickster, originality and artistry. In this final section, we really uncover Mercury's ultimate power and its role as the zodiac's true wildcard. See, unlike the sun, which provides this sort of divine spark, Mercury provides the highly logical approach of deductive reasoning, strongly favoring rationale over pure emotion. Mercury actually has a dispassionate, cold and dry temperament. It likes to keep things at arm's length. And why does this matter? Because this makes it the absolute perfect tool for fault-finding and perfectionism. It systematically identifies the weak links in any project, strips away all the emotional bias, and simply solves the problem.
In fact, our sources refer to Mercury as the messenger of a great idea, providing the strike of inspiration that can change the world. Mercury is basically the massive memory storehouse of all of our experiences. And by combining that vast memory with its natural craftiness and its paradoxes, this trickster figure constantly challenges our assumptions. It keeps our minds agile, ultimately sparking the pure originality and inventiveness that drives human evolution forward.
So the ultimate challenge Mercury presents to all of us is this: how will you articulate your primary creative energy and render it intelligible for the world? Because at the end of the day, it's really not about avoiding travel delays, it's about how you translate your own inner genius into actual external impact. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope it sparks some thinky juice of your own and leaves you eager to explore this incredible symbolic system even further. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I will see you next time.